Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala rasulillah. I would like to thank the brothers for giving me this opportunity to discuss with you very briefly about the importance of the Arabic language. Before anything, I'd like to establish the fact that this Qur'an, this religion, this deen is entrenched in the Arabic language. And we know from the statement of Allah after A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem, Alif Lam Ra, Tilka Ayatul Qur'anil Mubin, Inna Anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyya La'allakum Taqilun. So, as Allah makes mention here, that verily we have sent down the remembrance, this Qur'an, in the Arabic language, in hopes that you will understand, reflect, and of course, ultimately act upon it. But then it's like, wow, the Qur'an is in Arabic. Now that means something. There's nothing that happens in this world, this universe, except that there's a meaning behind it. If you ask any Muslim, you say, hey Muhammad, do you have to learn the Qur'an and the Sunnah? He's going to tell you what? Yes, you do have to learn it. And in order to properly understand the Qur'an and the Sunnah, if you understand the Arabic language, then you have made yourself eligible to properly, for yourself, understand the Qur'an and the Sunnah. And as Shaykh-ul-Islam ibn Taymiyyah made mention, that which is obligatory and that which leads to the completion or the attainment of that obligatory thing becomes obligatory also, i.e., learning the Arabic language. Now, my story goes back a little bit, and I'm not going to talk too long because usually that's the way it starts. My story goes back, and then it goes on for another hour or two. But when I accepted Islam back in 1996, 1997, of course I didn't know anything about the Arabic language. Nothing. And I didn't know anybody who knew anything about Arabic except for Arabs. Until one day, I was sitting in a khutbah and I listened to an English-speaking brother, just like myself, and he was quoting texts in Arabic, a hadith, and he could conversate and he knew the Arabic language, and my jaw dropped. So I said, wow, if he could learn it, I may have an opportunity to learn it also. So I packed my stuff, and I left America. I made a brief stop in Sudan and ultimately settled in Egypt. I found a teacher there, as I did not go to any ma'ahad, I didn't go to any university or no center. I found a teacher. I sat with him one-on-one for 2 years. And he took me from Alif Ba Ta all the way to Sarf, wa Nahwa, and all of the other things that go along with it. But I understand that a lot of people wouldn't have an opportunity to do that. They have children, they have a job, they have this, they have that, don't know anybody in these countries, which is not really a reason to stop you, but we got to be realistic. Some people are not going to be able to go. So we started up a project called Ijaza.com. That's E-Jaazah.com. On this website, you have an opportunity to study with Sheikh Muhammad Salah, who's the Mufti of Huda TV, Riyadh al-Salihin, full explanation, over 100 classes. You'll get video, MP3, study guide, tests, etc. Aqidah, and also the Arabic language. Now, this was important because, you see, when we want to be strong Muslims, a part of our heritage and our Islamic identity and our culture is the Arabic language. Alhamdulillah, because of the work that I do, I travel to do documentaries about Islam and Muslims and their situations. The one thing that's helped me so much is that no matter what country I go to, as long as there are Muslims there, somebody speaks Arabic. So I can always communicate to some level. And when I am in the Arab lands, they're not strange to me. I can communicate with them, they can communicate with me, and that opens up, that breaks down the barriers. Sometimes you'll see in a masjid that they're the Arab brothers and they're in the corner. And it seems as if that's a club and you just don't have access to it. That's because you don't speak the language and they don't adequately speak your language. Maybe they do linguistically, but there's no real exchange of deep, heartfelt dialogue. When you learn the Arabic language, it'll break down all of those barriers and you will see how unified this ummah could possibly be. Now, people are going to be sitting there saying, hey man, that's just great, but you know what? I just don't think that it's for me. Well, the main reason why people don't learn the Arabic language is shaitan comes to them and convinces them, you got no time. What are you talking about, some Arabic language? You barely have time to do this and that, and your wife is in your ear to clean out the you see. With ijaza.com, we give you 2 to 3 Arabic lessons per week, half an hour only. So you put the kids to bed at 9 o'clock, and you say, honey, make me a cup of tea. Don't bother me from 9:15 to 9:45. This is my Arabic class time. You do this 2 or 3 times a week, and you will see that your Arabic will grow exponentially. One of the things that helped me is that I wasn't good at sitting down memorizing words. So what I would do is I would write down 4 or 5 words, and the table that I used to eat at, I just used to tape it to the table. So when I'm sitting there talking to my wife and eating, I would glance over at the words from time to time. In the bathroom, I would put some of those words, of course none of them with the names of Allah on it, some of the words I'm trying to memorize on the mirror. So when I'm brushing my teeth, I can take a look at these words. So you can put them in certain places so that you can effortlessly memorize certain words. When your vocabulary grows, now that store owner from Yemen, or that one that's from Egypt, and this one from Syria or Saudi Arabia, now you can start to try out some of the words with them. So you go there, instead of saying, hey, Ahmed, how you doing? You go up to him, you say, Assalamu alaikum, ya Ahmed, kayf al-hal? He says, Alhamdulillah. You see? And it will break down these barriers, and you'll have an opportunity that once you use the word, put it in your pocket, inshallah, you'll remember it. The second thing that holds people back is that they say, okay, let's get started. I want to learn the Arabic language. They've got a full head of steam for 2 weeks. Shaitan comes to them and say, oh, you should not have started this. You don't have time. There's no time. So then you start to drop off and you quit. There's one thing that I have seen consistently with those 2 groups, those who have not learned the Arabic language, who've tried it, and this group right over here who have learned the Arabic language. That which is consistent with the people who did not learn is that they quit. That which is consistent with the people who did learn it is that they did not quit. So what you do is you make the intention. You pray tahajjud. You ask Allah to make it easy for you, because if it's really difficult, you're not going to do it. But if you ask Allah to make it easy for you, and that this is a way, oh Allah, that I can become closer to you, inshallah, He will answer your dua. So you begin and you start. Don't say, hey, look, I want to download all the lessons in one shot. I'm going to get it today. Don't. Bit by bit, step by step, piece by piece, and inshallah, you will look at yourself in 1 month and you will see how much you know. In 6 months, you'll be conversating in a good way, inshallah. Inside of a year, ila mashallah. So this is what I wanted to just mention to the brothers and sisters. Try to check out our website. That's www.ijaza, that's E-Jaazah.com. And you'll see that there's a weekly fatwa program that's there, and some other things that might be of interest to you. Which is jazakumullahu khairan for listening. Didn't I say I wasn't going to talk too long? Well, anyway. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين.